Hello, good morning, everyone. So today we'll be discussing about textile art that is on topic 27 in our Google Classroom. Let's check it out on our link. So I got this PowerPoint presentation from Slide Serve. You can check this out on your web. Let's make it bigger so you can also see this one. So we have here a question popping up in your mind. What is textile art? And one can be considered that one thing is a textile art. So arts and crafts that use plants, animals, or synthetic fibers to construct practical or decorative objects. So when I say synthetic fibers, we will deal it more on what is a yarn and what's a thread and what are the difference between the yarn and the thread on the next slide. So the word texture is textile is from Latin text theory, which means to weave, to braid, or to construct. So we have very examples of um, textile art that we have formed into a basket, into a bag, into a rug, and so on and so forth. Like this one, which we use as a bracelet or something. The most textile arts begin with twisting or spinning and flying fibers to make yarn pulled thread. When it is very fine and rope, it is very heavy. So you still remember what is the thread? So it's basically the basic of when you make about textile art. So the thread, making it bigger, it becomes the rope. So ang thread, sa isa ra ka kuan strip lang na siya. Kung daghan na siya, ang tawag na rope. So how was this thread made into a rope? So it's made to twisting and spinning of flying fiber. So basically it is from a fiber that's made into a thread and then into a rope to make it bigger, to make it heavy. Next, so the yarn. What happened? Just like that. I can see my the yarn then not just be braided or make flexible fabric or cloth, and cloth can be used to make clothing and soft furnishings. So we have the yarn over here. So a yarn then is made to knotted on the create clothing. So it makes the cloth or fabric more furnished as it is, just like on the picture that we that is depicted on our screen. Textiles have been a fundamental part of human life since the beginning of civilization. So from method and materials to make them have changed enormously, but the function of textile has remained the same. Again, although it changed enormously, when you say enormously, the COVID changes inevitable from before, which this can be seen or can be depicted in the first picture on your left, from silk to polyester, you know, how they weave and to have the cloth we are wearing right now to the clothes and carpets that is present nowadays that we are currently using. So from hand looms to massive industrial machines. So from using the bare hands of these um, artisans from machines that is used nowadays. The Paraka culture of Peru produced some. This is just an example of or the history of how textile art has been made. Produced some of the most dazzling and textile the world has seen. So the director of the British Museum inspected 100 objects to tell the history of the world. Choose a fragment of Paracas textile. So these textile fragments are made of alpaca or llama, wool, and would originally have been part of a cloak. They depict flying shamans grasping human heads into their talons, and the bottom figure carries a knife and used to be beheaded its victim. They were found wrapped around mummified bodies in the Great Paracas necropolis in Peru. So this 2,000-year-old textile were preserved in a dry, dark conditions all the time, and the fragments shown in dated about 3 days. Have we shown already a video of an alpaca or llama that has got or rikuha ang iyang kuan niya iyang balhibo niya, no? So they napadako sila llama or alpaca, and then they got this wool that this animal have, and then made it to a cloak, into something useful for us human beings. So from early times, textiles have been used to cover the human body and protect it from elements, to send social clues to other people, to store secure and protect possessions, and to soften, insulate, and decorate living spaces and surfaces. Now, from before, there is no change from from how we use this textile art until now. Although that how we produce or how we got this kind of art or textile art has really has a big change from from the bare hand into what do you call this is machines that is present nowadays. No, mas ang production o niya is na faster siya tungkol sa machine, but mo lagi ang taon is being replaced by the machine. History of textile arts is also the history of an international trade. The tyrant purple dye was an important trade good in the ancient Mediterranean, and the Road brought that trade of Chinese silk to India, Africa, and Europe. So now fabric dyes were valuable. Silk was a rare and special textile. So for some, no, it could be like a fabric dyes were valuable, but nowadays silk was a rarely and special textile because we rarely see silk. So it's really important. So felt hat, carpet, curtain, tablecloth, lace collars, kites, brocade, tires. These are just examples of how they use textile arts until now. So everyone wants special textiles. So taste for luxury fabrics lead to sumptuary laws during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. You still remember when you buy something or buy clothes on a mall or somewhere, we need to consider what type of material or what cloth is used in a certain piece or a certain t-shirt or anything that you wanted to wear, diba? So texture is really important because it makes us all comfortable when you wear something about it. So it depends on what you wanted to use, kind of textile. It could be a cloth, but a silk cloth or something like that. And also, this is a very big part of being an artist. If you wanted to have a design, this is important on when you weave something. The things that you need to do to use in making such being important before making it fully. Next on the loop, I cannot put next and mm, so the um, industrial revolution was a revolution of textile technology that began earlier with the cotton gin, and the power loom, and then we have the spinning jenny. So when it emerges, the use of machinery has also evolved also from hand making, use of our hands in weaving, and then going to also the machine from this kind of a machine to ever in this one. So it will evolve also on how they're going to have a faster way of producing this kind of textile art. Next slide. It's kind of long. Yeah, so textile art Textile artisans are actually replaced by machines. So say artisan, the artist, so the Dewitt is one of the artists for textile art. For 19th century English textile artisans who protested against the newly developed labor saving machinery from 1811 to 1817. The stocking frames, spinning frames, and power looms introduced during the Industrial Revolution made it possible to replace the artisans with less skilled low-wage laborers, leaving them without work. Now, that's why has been a very issue until now that we have all those machines. We are on a techie world now. We are on a 21st century, and um, there has been what do you call it one a fearful or a fright because people has been replaced with machines. What will happen if people will be replaced by machines? Comment down below on our YouTube video. What is your answer to our question? What would happen if people will be replaced by machines? And you need to prove your answer on that point. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Or what is your idea about it? Comment it down below, people. The textile arts also include those techniques which are used to embellish or decorate textiles, dyeing and printing to add color and patterns, embroidery and other types of needlework, table weaving, and lace making. Ayun, pagbuburda, kawalong burda. This is also an example of textile art. Next one. So construction methods such as sewing, knitting, crochet, and tailoring, as well as the tools employed, looms and sewing those techniques employed quilting and beading, and the objects made carpets, rugs, and coverlets fall under the category of textile art. So if you wanted to have this kind of, it's more on the girls' part than to have this kind of an um what do you call this one work. All these items of yarn, fabric, finishing objects are collectively referred to as textile arts, being stated on the earlier part of our discussion. And textile art, the term fiber art or textile art is now used to describe textile-based decorative objects which are not intended for practical use. We have Kappa, Moana, and Sand. So these are just examples of the fibers or textile art that is being described as textile-based. So you can see that it's a textile-based decorative object. I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much for listening.